Hi YouTube. This video I have literally, I swear on everything. I was working on it since 21st January 2024, 1:43 a.m. I have been carrying my iPad in my bag for like weeks now, hoping that when I'm at the restaurant, if it cools down around the daytime, I can just sit down and do this video. But no, this girl did not find the time. And I had everything prepared since Jan, like I said. And right now it's not making so much sense to me because I have, as embarrassing as it is to admit, forgotten pretty much. um I just want to put a disclaimer out there, and it's that I know not everybody watching this is watching it with the intent for entertainment purposes or even like mindset to hopefully, gain some kind of knowledge about how the money situation looks like when you're living in the UK or anything of those sort. I know some people are just here to watch me and pull me apart, to just say something like, ah, Tame, she's just showing off how much money she made and all that. No. When I was there in the UK, which was just for 16 months, so many people, people I didn't even know. Like, if I actually were to count, I'm sure it's gonna be in hundreds and hundreds. People reached out asking how is the living standard, how is the earning scenario there in the UK. And as much as I would have loved to help all these hundreds of people, the problem is that there are hundreds of people. I didn't also want it to be misleading in a way that if I go like, yeah, it's so good, come on over. And what if it did not work out like that for everybody, right? I don't want to be responsible for anybody's whole life's decisions. But then I thought once I move away from that life, now I could talk about it, in the past tense form. And if you think, it'll be up to you to judge. To start off with, to get there, the visa had come in very last minute, and then, oh, so we booked the flights very last minute, and the flight that cost us £400 to return, around £400. Actually, it cost me £1,972 to go from here to the UK, which is literally 2 lakh notrums. And it still does something to me somewhere in my spine, because it's not like that flight was even worth £1,900, if you know what I mean. Like, it's clearly available for £400 even. Anyways, so that don't ever book your flight last minute. But once you do go there, what worked out for me is, when we reached there was towards the end of August. And before going from here, I was working. I work every day. Anyways, so that's why I thought I deserved a little breaky. And even my mama was like, don't be in a haste to look for a job. I just took like 2 months chill pill time, just lazing around in the apartment, watching stuff on Netflix, ordering Uber Eats, and just living the life. So when I finally did look for a job, it was a Christmas temp job. And this is my little tip to you guys: if you're trying to decide when to move, try to do it around the seasonal holidays times, because um the employers, they're obviously very short of hands, because around the seasonal, I've said this so many times, seasonal times, holiday times, Christmas especially, right? People are crazy about Christmas over there, and that's why they shop like as if the money is not even their own. So that's why stores and companies look for as many employees as they can, and that is how I also was able to get the first job. The good thing is, if you're good enough like I am, I'm kidding, if you're, if you actually put in hard work, have the chill or whatever. For me, what I'm trying to say is, my temp job was to end in January, but I had stayed on until 31st March, because I asked them if they were looking for another, for like a, if the temp jobs had a way to stay on permanent. I'd like to stay on, right? And then the manager was so lovely, she kept me on, and my first ever paycheck was of 849 Great British Pounds. And at that time, the hourly wage in the UK was £9 per hour, the minimum wage. And later, the hourly wage shot up to £11. I'll just put all the digits here. My first paycheck, my second, my third, and around the seasonal holidays, they also have like lots of extra hours to grab. And because I wasn't a student, I was working like on average around 25 hours. When Christmas kitna the so I was working like 40 hours. They asked me if I was okay working 40 hours before putting me on the schedule, and I was like, yeah, give it to me. And then I did it, and then that's why I got paid a lot in December. I got a total of 8. I'll put the math here. In the month of December alone, I made this much money. La la. And then come Jan, Feb, it isn't so busy, so my hours started to drop, and that's why even my pay started to drop. La la. And then around March, I thought to myself, what am I doing with my life? I'm kidding. Around March, I thought, because the shop wasn't having as much sales, they obviously don't have the budget to schedule many people on work. So that's why everybody's hours started to drop. And then I asked my manager, I was like, if it's okay with you, am I okay to look for a second job, And she was like, please go ahead. And she was sweet to the point that she even recommended me to her friend who was an employer for another job. But then I wasn't comfortable with that job. It was like wedding planning group things, and as fun as it sounds, it was to like constantly move around the UK. So I was like, I don't know if I'll always be up for it. But I was very grateful for my manager to offer that. And then I looked for a second job, like I was saying, and drum roll, I got a job at a bubble tea store, which was, believe it or not, like if my current job was here, that bubble tea store was like card factory, province, bubble tea. There was like literally just two stores in the middle, and it was in the same shopping center. So it was really swift. I was like, la 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 la. And one day I really was like, la 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 la, because I did not have my schedules looked at properly. So at my first job, I worked from 10 p.m. to 2 p.m. And then my second job, it was like 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So I had like literally 0 minutes to get from one job to the other. At this bubble tea job, I was working like I don't remember anymore. I didn't write it down, so I don't remember. Oh no, I was working full time. It says full time. So my paycheck was looking at 1,650 British pounds. So wait, I forgot to mention something. At one point, I had my first job and the second job, right? But I only was able to do that for 1 month because it was getting too much for me. So I had to let go of my first job and not be so greedy and take up the hours there as well. So I just completely moved on to the second job, because the second job was really happy to hear that um I was planning on staying full time. So I was able to get my 40 hours a week job hours there. So I was like, okay, I'll just leave the first job, right? And then there I was making 1,650 pounds per month. And the thing is, when you're earning more than 1,000 pounds per month, they start taxing you 20%. Ba-da-da-dum. And then I was working full time, all comfortably, 40 hours a week, right? And then comes the offer along. Do, 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 do. And they asked me, we would like to promote you to assistant manager of the job, of the store. Would you like to take the job? And I took the job. And my pay shot up to 2,200 pounds. It was a salary, it wasn't paid by the hour anymore at that point. The taxing system there is so crazy. Like, if you need to talk to someone from the tax department or the tax office, you literally need to spend like 50 minutes on the phone call. In the month of July, which is my birthday month, hello, my birthday's around the corner, they taxed me 40% accidentally. Who does that? And by they, I don't mean my employer, but I mean the taxing office. So they literally taxed me like 40%, and that month my paycheck was like just like almost half of what says on my contract. So I was like really bummed out. But then it did get reimbursed to me in the next month's paycheck. So the next month's paycheck looked like very fat. Then eventually I got really 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 sick one day because of the job's intensity and other very minute things that ended up becoming big. So 3 days I was bedridden. I was I was I was unwell, is all I can tell you. So then I thought I had to part ways with my very well paying job. And then I thought to myself that I had really just gone there temporarily for experience, I'm not here to kill myself for some money. So that's why I put in my resignation, as hard as it was, because my managers they also offered me the manager position of the store. And then I was like, oh, but I need to go back to Bhutan, my visa will expire, blah 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 blah. And then the company, later I find out that the company was even willing to sponsor my work visa so that I could stay there as their store's manager. Then I moved on to another third job, and to be honest, I have no regrets about my decision, because that way I was able to feel like my time was divided into different experiences, different like ways of living, if that makes sense, because every job required me to have a different lifestyle. Yeah, that's the right word. And then my third job was at a clothing store, and there too I worked as a Christmas temp, and I had the best time. My managers were so sweet around Christmas. They gave me gifts which I was not expecting. They oh my god, I see, I'm like at the loss of words. I was doing very, very, very full hours, and I was making like la la this kind of paychecks. At the same time, I completely thoroughly enjoyed what I was doing. All of this said, right? All of my earnings spilled. I still had a little stream of income from YouTube. Sure. Guys, you guys haven't met Mr. Cat, have you? Look. Look at this ball of fur. Say hi. Say hello, world. Say hello, world. Okay, I'm gonna keep it kind of lopsided so you can see Mr. Cat. My heart. Right here. Anyways, yeah, so that you can really, really not escape taxing in the UK. If your paycheck exceeds £1,000 in 1 month, it will automatically enroll you in a taxing system, and then you'll start being taxed 20% of the full paycheck. So it'll already be deducted when it comes to your bank. And then housing. So for 16 months we stayed there, right? And for the first like year, we stayed at the student accommodation, which was very luxurious and very nice, I would say. It was £730 per month. And then at that point we thought it was like, oh, we're staying in a pricey place, but then it was actually worth it, that £730, because it includes Wi-Fi, it includes water, it includes electricity, gas. You had your own toilet, your own kitchen, your own appliances. It even came with furniture, so it was like all good. It was like, oh, there was security was obviously first class in there. It was really nice. But then when our first year's agreement, the lease was over, so we had to then move out into a normal home, like like a flat. And flat sharing is a very common thing there. And we did search high and low. We had to think about how far it was from work, how the neighborhood was, what was available around the area, and all that. And considering everything about the place, we found one, and it was a flat share. We shared it with two other rooms, right? But still, get this, it was £700, and we didn't even have our own kitchen or even bath. It was shared with two other rooms, so you can kind of understand that housing is not at all cheap in the UK. And get this, we're not even in London. And then groceries, we did not do the math down to every penny and pound, but kind of eyeballing the amount every month, we probably spent like 120 to 150 pounds just on our food, and that is excluding takeout. And I did a lot of takeout in my time. And I've put the amount as excluding takeout because takeout isn't something of a necessity, if that makes sense, but groceries are, right? Like for instance, when I said excluding takeout, this one time we went to Costco, the first literal time. I even did a video on that. Membership to just enter that store was £26. £97 I ended up spending on my first visit there. And then we ate some stuffs for like about £7, it says here. I don't know. And then we had to Uber back because obviously I shopped a lot, so £15 on the Uber. Like that alone, that first trip to Costco alone was £145. So can't really tell. So if you just want to go buy the groceries, it's around 120 to £150 per month for two people. Oh. And then I've had like big purchases while I was there. And then I even bought this phone that I'm recording this video in. And to come back to Bhutan, I spent thousands of pounds on choms. And then I bought that £90 worth of Uggs and skincare and rare beauty. I spent so much money. Oh my god, so much money on all those stuff. So there have also been other purchases like those, okay? Tried to make the most of our little time there. So we went to London like 3 or 4 times. There's this thing called a winter wonderland that is done in London around Christmas, and it's like people from around the globe fly to London for that. And we thought, we are in the UK, we should go as well. And we went and we spent like around £500 in 2 days. And then oh my god, I tried also doing a video on this situation, this matter. There's this thing called the Schengen visa, where you apply to go into the Schengen area, which is basically Europe, and you get to travel all around in there for a limited amount of days. And the process was so excruciating to apply for the visa, and it doesn't even guarantee that you'll get it. But then luckily we got the visa, and we had the trip planned to Greece, Amsterdam, and Paris. Okay, Mykonos and Athens in Greece. Yeah, so 4 cities basically. And then everything was planned out. That's how you needed to be for Schengen visas. We had even booked tickets to the Anne Frank House, Van Gogh Museum, the Louvre, all that. Even ferry boats, we had purchased the tickets and everything. And we did get the visa. Yay, you would think, right? Nuh-uh. The delivery service that was responsible for bringing our passports with the attached Schengen visa from London down to South Wales, where we lived, they lost our passports. Ooh, it still does something to me. They lost our passports, and getting a reimbursement for that, the lost passports, was on its own so painful. I fought so many times with the people at the visa office, and I don't even want to delve in that. You can clearly see my energy dropped instantly when I started talking about this, because it is not at all something I want to revisit. So for that alone, we had spent like around, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000 pounds that we obviously didn't get back. Yay. We've also been to other cities in the UK like Bristol, Bath. Oh my god, Bath was beautiful. I went there for my birthday. And then we flew to Edinburgh. Oh my god, Edinburgh. If you guys are planning a trip to the UK, or if you're moving to the UK, forget London. Go to Edinburgh. Oh my god, Edinburgh. Edinburgh has my whole heart. Oh my god, so beautiful. That. And then we went to the Harry Potter studios up in London one time, and that costed like around £250. So I'm saying all of this to tell you that in the short span of time that I spent there, I did try to live. I didn't just live like a work and home and work and home and work and home kind of situation. And although I had lucked out enough to be able to be employed and have a steady flow of income there, I did also try to live, like I was saying. So that's why I've spent quite a lot as well. And people who know me know that I'm not easy and quick to spend, at least on myself. So yeah, I would say that the whole time there was very, very fruitful. And I don't know if this is at all any helpful of a video in terms of how finances look like over there, but you kind of get it, right? The daily commute travel, just one ride in the city bus, that goes around, is £2.20. So you can kind of work your math through it, like getting to work, and that's Mr. Cat in the litter box. Getting to and back work every single day alone is costing you around £5. I hardly ever carried my own lunch. And then at my last job, the third job, they did have free lunch for the employees at the workplace, But before that, the other two jobs, I used to very, very often just purchase lunch from the shopping center. So every day I would spend around £10 on food, and then like £4 or £5 on travel. So every single day there was expense. And the after a long shift, like some 10-hour shifts, when going home, I would deduce that I yeah, so like some days when I would have like heavy shifts, going back, I would be like, oh, I deserve myself a big May treat. And I would buy something on my way home, or like pick up groceries. Or sometimes if I see some very fun clothes or nice looking accessories and stuff, I would just buy it on my way. So that's why there have been like loose purchases here and there that I have obviously not been able to record. But I hope that this kind of helps being able in you being able to understand how it works. Because okay, let's just take it as some months I've made £1,800 after tax, right? And some months I didn't even work at all. But I mean, okay, the least paycheck that I received was around £600, £640. So that, and then house rent was like £700, and then food was like £120, and then travel every month where you can get your transport taken care of. So that's like £50. Oh, and your phone plan is like around £12. And now all of this expenses that I've been telling you is for two people, me and Lungten. So now take yourself for example. If you're planning on moving just you as on your own, so you're looking at all of this and you're making this around this much, and then you're trying to also save. And then if you're studying, you'll also have to pay a thing, no, um fees. And that fees we did not have to worry about because Lungten was on scholarship and he even got a stipend instead. So you kind of get the situation. But obviously for some people it would obviously work out even better than it did for my situation. So yeah, the point of my video, I think, basically is it's up to you. I hope that this video kind of helps. It'll be a task to edit it because I'm already at 32 minutes. Bye. Thank you for watching.